Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM, brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
A good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Shelby McCall, as usual, keeping me straight as she tries to keep me straight. She's only got about 12 jobs. So anyway, she's here is our producer, and I'm really happy to get John Gordon and Ron Wong as our co-host on this second Saturday. And I know Ron set up this next guest, but we've had him on the show before when he won a lot of money a couple of years ago at the Mr. Crappie, and I think that, Ron, was it over in Arkansas, wasn't it, Ron? Was it?
That was
yes,
out of Hot Springs.
Out of Hot
Arkansas.
Springs. Yeah,
At Lake Hamilton.
that's right. And this young man and his brother recently won the American Crappie Trail Tournament for all you folks.
Lots of money there.
Yeah, the American Crappie Trail Tournament up at Kentucky Lake, where a lot of my friends and are located, and you folks in Brownsville this morning and Jackson, Tennessee, that listen to Outdoors with Larry Ray every Saturday morning. We're happy to have with us the man himself, Tony Sheppard, not only about crappie fishing, we'll talk about jinko fishing, but he and Mike won that tournament. Good morning. Tony, how you doing, buddy?
Morning. Good. How are you?
We're doing great. And the first thing I got to ask you, you won 14. You see, what was that? What was that money? I done forgot. $14,950, almost $15,000. Now, do you split that?
You.
Do you split that even, or does the older brother get more than the other one?
No, we split it 50-50.
Okay. Your mom and daddy taught you right, man. Okay, that's good. So talk about it, man. I mean, Kentucky Lake, and Ron was there. We had a lot of pictures. We ran. In fact, just the other day, I ran on my Facebook page the picture of you two guys holding up that check. I don't know how you're going to go through the drive-through line with that check, but it's a big one. So talk about that win, buddy.
Yeah, it was a special win for us. It was on our home lake. We'd been the bridesmaid several times on our lake, and with the big tournaments, and never could seem like to get the second day to go right. And the good Lord was with us on this one, and we got the second day to fall into place. We started off struggling a little bit because of the wind. Couldn't actually fish where we wanted to.
Yeah.
And on up about 10:30 in the morning, the wind switched a little bit more to the northeast instead of just straight east. And we was able to get back out there on our fish and seal the deal.
And, Ron, you were there, and to catch more than 25 pounds of fish with a big of 2.38, you were there, Ron. The conditions were tough, but it doesn't.
Yeah, they had rain, they had wind, and the weather changing.
Yes.
But, the good news is Kentucky Lake is back.
That's what,
and, I have to tell you, not only for the crappie fishermen, but for the bass fishermen also. But the crappie are unbelievable there now. And there were a lot of good limits brought in. And, of course, I'm happy for Tony and Mike to win. It's their home lake. And you know how that home lake jinx will work against you a lot.
Yeah. We'll talk about what it took on this, Tony. I mean, what were you using? And Ron always asks those technical questions like that, but I'm kind of interested because I know you're a jig man and you know a lot about jigs, and I want to know what you're using. I want to know some of these names of jigs you use. Ron calls got different colors and things along that line. So what was the trick at Kentucky Lake?
Well, the biggest trick for us is, but during the winter, we've had so much rain up and down the Tennessee River.
Yes.
They have pulled like 200. They've had every gate open like 290,000 cubic square foot going through the dam.
Yeah.
And what it did was in January and February, them fish left the main lake. They were tired of fighting the current. They pretty well, I felt like, went into the arms they were going to stay in and spawn.
Okay.
So with the American Crappie Trail, you have 30 days off limits. So my goal before the 30 days off limits started is I wanted to figure out which arm I felt like had the most consistency of a good grade and, some big fish.
Yeah.
And we found that. And then, we 30 days off limits, and we had 2.5 days to pre-fish.
Yeah.
And when we went back to the water, we went to the best two arms the first day, and then the second day we went back to the other arm. And just like we'd kind of pre-fished it, our better stringer come out of the arm we expected it to.
Yeah.
And and with them rising and lowering the water so much this year, the fish wanted to spawn 2 or 3 times, and they would run to the back of the coves, the bays, creeks, and get ready to spawn. And then they'd start dropping the water. Well, the fish would pull back out. And what we felt like happened was the bigger fish just like finally said the heck with it,
Uh-huh.
and they found humps and tops of ledges near the mouth of the bay, close to deep water, but shallow enough they could spawn on them without having to go to the back. And that's what we ended up doing. There wasn't that many fish up on top of the ledges like how we were fishing. We might catch 15, 20 keepers a day.
Yeah.
But we would have 10, over 1.5 pounds every time we done it.
Wow. Wow. And I know if anybody knows all the arms of that lake, you do. You guys do. I mean,
I've got a lot of gas. I've got a lot of gas money on that lake.
I bet you do. And Ron has talked about this because his close association with the American Crappie Trail. What a great trail it is, Tony. And you guys have been at it for a while. Just to win one is impressive because you know that you're fishing against the best, right?
Yeah, you're fishing against the best, and it was really hard on my bucket list because I've won a Crappie Masters, I've won Crappie USA, I've won a national championship with Crappie Masters, I've won the Wally Marshall National Championship. So now the last one on my bucket list is the American Crappie Trail National Championship, and then I'll have my goal complete.
And that's a pretty good bucket, buddy. I mean, that's not a little bucket you're looking at here.
Well, it's a good start.
It is a good start. Yeah, yeah. And talk about Go ahead.
We caught all of our fish on Smoke Show. It's a new color I come out with last year.
Smoke Show. What was that again? Smoke.
It's called Smoke Show.
Oh, I love it. Okay, go ahead. I'm a big man on colors here. Keep going, buddy. You got me listening. Yeah.
It's a clear smoke colored bait, and it's got as much silver glitter as you can possibly put in it.
Oh, okay.
And what happens is when you put it in the water, the smoke color kind of dissolves in the water. You can't see it.
Uh-huh.
And it's probably the closest thing looking to a shiner swimming that I've seen. And, Kentucky Lake's a clear lake. So that was one of our baits. I mean, that bait right there, everywhere I've been in the country, it works. I mean, live scope is kind of starting to show crappie fishermen that, natural colors are probably a little more important if you're putting the bait within 2 or 3 inches of a fish's face.
That's amazing.
2
or 3 inches.
Like when we were trolling, pre-live scope color, I feel like really mattered to attract fish from a distance.
Yeah.
But now with this live scope, you're pretty well putting the bait within, say, a foot of the fish, 6 inches either way. And I think sometimes those bright colors are spooking the fish when you're getting it that close, that quick to them.
Great observation.
So that's one thing I think the Smoke Show worked well for. And another color that's always hot on any lake you go to when the crappie are spawning is a lot of people call it the Captain Coleman. We call it chartreuse lime.
That's it.
With the pink head. I mean, in the springtime, any lake you go to, that's going to be a hard color to beat.
Well, I got to tell you, chartreuse, one of my favorite colors, and also one of my favorite words. It took me about 3 years to learn how to spell it. When I was in the newspaper business.
Thank you for spell check.
Yeah, well, we didn't have. That tells you how old I am, right, John Gordon? I'm not tackling chartreuse right now on the radio, but I can spell it. But hey, again, we're talking to Tony Sheppard, who teamed with his brother Mike to win the American Crappie Trail Tournament up at Kentucky Lake. Pocketed almost $15,000, and what I really like about that tournament prize package, folks, was almost $44,000. And coming up next, it's next weekend at Grenada. Ron will be down there. Tony, how does that set up for you and Mike down at Grenada?
Grenada, I've won actually a Crappie Masters tournament on Grenada. It was actually like the month after I won the national championship. They had an early bird fall tournament.
All right.
I turned around and won it back to back. Grenada, I really like fishing it in the fall. The springtime, it can be iffy. I know, I keep up with everything because, you're 30 days off limits. So I have been watching the weather, and I know from history, about every inch and a half of rain they get down there, that lake usually comes up a foot.
Yeah.
And they've got a big rain this last week, and I know I've been watching the water gauges, and the water's come up, 3 or 4 foot. They're supposed to get another big rain Sunday.
Yes.
So I'm looking for it to be a tough tournament, honestly. because I feel like my gut tells me the fish are probably just starting to come out of the bushes and the trees and starting to transition back out to a summer pattern.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm feeling like with all this rain and fresh water, they probably went back up in the timber.
Well, you can ask John Gordon because he lives in North Mississippi and he's been taking a boat to work for the last week or so, I think.
You know, Tony. For those of you that don't know, Tony is I guess the easiest way to say is the head designer, innovator for Jinko fishing,
Yes.
crappie fishing.
Yeah.
And he's come up with some things that are pretty amazing over the years that Jinko's been in business, like the 17-ounce, 10-foot carbon fiber landing net for crappie fishermen.
Sure, yeah.
But the newest thing that they've come out with that is really amazing is a jig box that you can keep all of your jigs very easily identified and from all the hooks catching each other. Tony, talk about some of the new things that you guys got at Jinko Fishing, and especially the jig box that you designed.
Okay, yeah, the jig box is a double-sided jig box. It's waterproof. It's got a good snap lid on it. It's got foam slots in the bottom where you can store your jigs by hook, like your hook goes into the foam. All your heads are separated. They're not rubbing against each other and rubbing the paint off while you're running down the lake.
Whoa, okay.
You can flip it. You can flip it up and down, upside down, all you want, and they'll stay in position.
Cool.
And like Ron says, when you get to the lake, and you got 30 different color hair jigs, and you just broke one off, and you need to find that color quick. It's easy to flip open the top and find it. But we're always trying to come out with new product. We got a new spinning rod coming out. We've got an X15 jigging rod.
Really?
With
Okay.
the live scope, all the technology's changing, and we're just trying to stay on top of it and stay ahead of the game and come out with better product for the fishermen.
Well, tell our listeners how they can get information, as Ron always says, on Jinko Fishing and how to get updates with you, Tony.
Yeah. We got web page on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, jinkofishing.com.
Yes.
You can go to jinkofishing.com online, and we've got a full catalog on there. You can see all of our products. And if they have any questions, just call the office. Will or I or Colton, one of us will take care of them.
Well, I tell you what, you mentioned Colton. I mean, he started Jinko, right? We could do a whole nother segment on some of that, couldn't we? I mean,
he's actually today he's down at Pickwick Lake filming with Direction TV.
Is he really? He started as a teenager, I think, Ron, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was. And when they started, he couldn't even drive.
No, I don't
He
know.
had to have
Well,
somebody drive him.
we don't. We're running out of time with Tony, but hey, Tony, we'll work up something, see if we can get Will and Colton on sometime. Ron, how about that? Talk a little bit about Jinko. Let's do that. Tony, thank you, buddy. Good luck next weekend with you and Mike. Keep up for Ron. Watch out for him. I know he wears out 3 pairs of tennis shoes, but he won't miss any meals. Watch out down there.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right, buddy. Thank you. Have a great day. All right. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and we're going to try to go to Colorado Springs. Well, I wish I could be.
All right.
I love Colorado Springs. We'll be right back.